How's it going, everybody? Maybe we'll make this a weekly thing. It's Saturday. I'm at my son's soccer. Yeah, soccer. Should I redo this? That's definitely not soccer. That would be a weird game of soccer. It's a tennis practice day here Saturday morning. And again, I figured we'd just retail landscape as we end another week here. Obviously, this week we had a bunch of Top Stadium Club baseball, a little bit more Topps Update baseball, and of course we had mega boxes of Prestige football, which is kind of fun. They're $44.99, so it's not too big of a hit on the old pocketbook. And then of course we had some select megas for football, select blasters for football. We even saw those in some Targets this week. And Upper Deck Series 1 hockey. And trying to think what else there was. My mind is not working right now. We have the Stadium Club. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, the WNBA Select. I tried 3 blasters of it, didn't get anything great. That's just such a small sample size, but I've heard a lot of good things about people opening that stuff, getting like 2,500 point cards, which is like I think I checked the eBay comps. It's like 100 and sometimes they're like 130. They can go as high as $200 for that amount of points. So to get that kind of value, I guess, from a blaster, even though it sucks not to have a hit, but still, oftentimes, those point cards are better than the actual card you can get, unless it's Caitlin Clark, right? So some Caitlin Clark stuff. Obviously, the pink ice parallels, the cracked ice or whatever. Those are going for like $200, $300, $400. Sometimes the court sides, obviously, more. I don't think I'll be buying anymore when the Target ones come out, because I think they're different, right? Like a Target blaster is a little bit cheaper, $29.99, and it has like a different retail exclusive, I'm pretty sure. So I might try, again a little bit, but not going to go too crazy on it. So yeah, we had that. Premium stock basketball is finally starting to show up. I have not been able to find it at any Sam's Club. I didn't really check too hard though this week. Maybe next week I'll try. If a store or any Sam's Clubs in Central Florida, if they already had it, it might already be gone. I don't think as big of a craze as we saw the Donruss football Costco boxes. I don't think it's like that because the downtowns, trump everything else. Yeah, so the megas and the blasters that are coming, they're finally on Target.com, which means they'll be in stores. They could be in stores as early as next week. I think Walmart is going to have hangers. I would expect next week in Targets and Walmarts for Topps Update hanger boxes, maybe some more fat packs. We will probably see more Prestige mega boxes. Probably we'll see, there's a very good chance we will see the premium stock NBA. I've heard some mixed things. It's not going to be as great as those $129.99 Walmart exclusive premium boxes were. It's not going to be like that, right? Those were like they really were like a hobby-esque, like hybrid H2 type, where every card was like that Mojo Prism cut to it. So the regular premium stock is just going to be regular chrome cards, and then of course you kind of get some parallels. So I still think the collection boxes from Sam's Club is probably going to be the best value, because you have those chances at the black discos and the black pulsars. The premium, the megas and the blasters, I think it's going to be kind of like Phoenix was, really. Like, I don't think they'll be like crazy just flying off the shelves and super hard to get. Mosaic's still on the shelf, right? Phoenix is still on the shelf. So I just don't see that. I just don't see a scenario where those premium stock boxes. It doesn't help that Wembanyama is kind of having a bit of a tough start this season, even though it's way early. He's having, what they always call, right, the kind of sophomore slump, where you're trying to figure out like what's going on, and the team that he's on is better. I would say it's not like a top team, but it's definitely a better team overall, and that might impact his stats like across the board. So do you want to see Wembanyama put up ridiculous numbers, or do you want to see the team that he's around like be better and be more relevant? Obviously in a perfect world, what really helps eventually is if not only is he putting up like all-time stats, but he's also on a team that's a top, four half of the conference or a top, 4 seed or something like that. So until that happens, if that can happen, there's a lot of people that are just down on. There's a lot of people that still don't think he's going to be like a, generational guy. I still think that, he's, he does remind a lot of people of Durant, but just a taller Durant. Durant's 7 foot, but he's not a center, right? You wouldn't play Kevin Durant at center. He's like a point forward, or he could play like a full power forward position, but he's still going to get, knocked around a lot by bigger NBA players, like the bigger centers, the bigger power forwards that aren't, stretch fours, or he's still going to struggle. Durant still struggles around players like that naturally, right? They're lanky, tall guys. Like they're not Shaq. Wemby's not Shaq. He's not Steven Adams. He's not, he is like, he's not built like that. He's not Giannis. Giannis is a huge, he's like LeBron. He's not LeBron. Wemby's not LeBron. So it's going to be a little bit different. Very like Chet Holmgren kind of. And even Chet has stretches where he's just not really doing much. But the team, of course, is just amazing. Anyways, so yeah, a lot of a lot of the new stuff comes out, and nobody cares. Like nobody really cares about last year's football stuff. CJ Stroud's not really doing a heck of a whole lot. It's all about Lamar Jackson right now, and of course Pat Mahomes. But and we talked about that last week a little bit. Premium stock stuff should be in stores. It might even be in stores as soon as next week if you're still looking for that itch for pulling Wembanyama or even some of the other guys. Brandon Miller, who I'm very high on, he had a very good game last night in a Hornets win. And that team is still, the team's still very young and not great, but I think he had 29 points, 7 of 11 from 3, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and like a steal on a block or something like that, which is amazing. Those are great numbers. So if he can he's not going to do that every night, but if he can kind of be around that, or, be, playing that well, or as that well, I don't know what I'm saying. That should help his values. A lot of people I know are, obviously holding on to Brandon Miller stuff. Another guy that he could, who knows? Like in 5 years' time, we could be talking about Brandon Miller being the best player from that draft. It's not totally out of the stretch of possibility. This league tends to lean towards more of the wing players, and Brandon Miller is basically kind of a guard wing hybrid kind of player. And the LeBron, not saying that Brandon Miller is LeBron James by any stretch, or Giannis or Kawhi or something like that, but where you see all the values, like where you see all the like the LeBron James of the world, and just Giannis and some of the players that have real good collectability long term, just like baseball. In baseball, it's shortstops and center fielders. While in basketball, it's kind of like your wings, your amazing wings, like those players that I mentioned, that have like the most value, that have like the long term collectability and like the super high dollar values attached to them. For hockey, I'm still kind of waiting on. The what is it called? The Skybox Metal Universe for last year's rookies. We haven't seen any retail of that. I think Hobby came out. Actually, I'm not that sure if Hobby came out. But we should still see retail of that. I think it got pushed because now we're into November, and I think it was supposed to come out last month. But Bedard, there's another player like Connor Bedard that maybe we put too high of expectation. It is still very early in the season, but he's only like, at the moment, projections out to what he's been doing so far, he's only 15 goals, 50 assists. And look, if he has a season where he scores 15, 17 goals and he gets like 50 to 60 assists, that's pretty damn good for a kid that's 19. So they have really no talent there in Chicago. They've got some talent, the Todd Bertuzzis of the world and whatnot, but they're still a long way ahead. And I think a little bit unfair to hope that Connor Bedard would have just explode like maybe McDavid did and just go off and score 30, 40 plus goals or 40 goals or something like that. And that's just not going to happen. not for a bit yet. So I think some just temper expectations, I think, of those who, of course, are still holding on to Bedard or still wanting to pull his cards. It could still be. It's going to be like a couple years, right? Like, I think even Connor McDavid, when his rookies were 2015, 2016, right? So I think it took like around the pandemic or maybe even after that. Like, it took like 5 good years before, whoa, like even as him as a player, like to become that MVP type of guy and a guy that scores like 50, 60 goals or something like that, or 50 goals, like it took a bit. It took a minute. So, we could be talking about, 2028, 2029, maybe even 2030. As crazy as that sounds, before, the fruits of, of people holding on to Connor Bedard, barring any, catastrophic injury, as we're watching some tennis. My son is in the gray shirt behind this teacher. There he is. Yeah. Oh, he's not happy. He's saying something. He's fighting with the teacher. I don't know if you can hear that. Hear him shouting. That's fun. Anyways, so yeah, Topps Chrome update. Let's talk about that real quick. That's going to be Wednesday, the 13th, and GameStops will have that on release day. You can actually go to GameStop and, obviously hobby shops, right, for the hobby boxes. But I mean, the hobby boxes are not cheap. They are going to be, like $300-$400 for a box of Topps Chrome Update. So if you're looking for the mega boxes, and they've even increased those, like I don't even think there's blasters anymore. There's only one configuration, as far as I can tell, for retail for Topps Chrome Update, and that's going to be they are the same content as blasters. I don't know. This was like a weird thing like a month ago when it was first released. Like, same configuration, but they're calling them mega boxes now. Whatever. $49.99 at most places. So basically a mega box. But it's the same set, like 7 packs, 4 cards per pack. It's still 28 cards, I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99% sure. We're now going to pay $28 or $50 for 28 cards. Look, the checklist is going to be ridiculous, just like Topps Update, just a Chrome version of that. With Jackson Chourio, Jackson Holiday, Jackson Merrill, Ellie De La Cruz, rookie debuts, of course Paul Skeens, Wyatt Langford. Like, there's no question that the checklist is going to be strong, but it's just, $50 for a mega box that isn't really a mega box is a little annoying, to say the least. But GameStops will have those boxes as on release day on Wednesday the 13th. So, I would watch out for those. It won't be super hard to find, I don't think, but GameStops don't get like a ton in. They might get a case. Some stores might get a case worth, but then there's a lot of stores that only get like a handful of boxes. And then, of course, so eventually like Best Buy will have them, and then Target and Walmart will have them. But yeah, so that does come out next week. I'm trying to think. The Bowman Draft pre-order from Topps, that was a big deal Thursday. $520 for a hobby box, or I guess they changed the naming. It used to be Jumbo and then Super Jumbo. There is no retail for Bowman Draft. It's just strictly hobby. So it's like 3 autos for a Jumbo, 5 autos for a Super Jumbo box in the past. Now they just call them hobby boxes and Jumbo boxes. But it's still $520. Well over $100 per auto. They're squeezing any bit of value out of this stuff, and if you're buying one box, good luck. A case would be what now, like over $6,000 for a case, right, or something like that. I'm not, I don't think there was one big super generational drafted guy this past, June's draft, so there's no Paul Skeens. I don't think there's like a Paul Skeens huge name that commands that dollar amount. And yeah, there's going to be breaks for whatever, or you buy a box and you get a really good orange refractor first rounder. But I wonder what, like, the singles, the price of these singles, they need to be crazy big, like crazy high. for that $520 box, if you pull a top 5 pick or whoever's going to be in it, like I think they held back, the second overall pick that they always do for March for regular Bowman, but we're talking like, I'm sorry, everybody's looking at my big nose here. Just zoom out. A regular base auto, it better be like, they better be valued at like, I don't know, like $300-$400 for a base auto. They have to be, otherwise I don't, it's getting silly. It is getting silly. Even for breakers that I know will buy a bunch of it, I can't even imagine like how they would do it. It used to be like you can do a case break, then it's like a 6-box break. Then I think a lot of places, including ones that I dabble with, now it'll be like a 3-box break or a 2-box break, and you're just getting squeezed out, less cards, less dollar per value or dollar per, or whatever you want to call it. And most breakers, like if you do a break, a Bowman draft, they don't even ship paper. And that's another thing that's weird. Like you're charging $520 for a product that still has a lot of paper cards, right? Like it's not chrome. It's not an all chrome product. Then I can understand, okay, but there's a ton of paper cards that nobody really gives. I'm almost cursed. Nobody really cares about the paper ever. There's some set builders, sure, but even paper first years, because there's no rookies. It's no rookie card logo cards in Bowman Draft. It's all either prospects or first year prospects with the first Bowman stamp or on it, and nobody really even cares about the first year papers. So that's just kind of wild to me. But it is what it is. I don't know if it's sold out yet. I would hope it wouldn't be. I hope it just sits on Topps.com when it goes live or whatever. You look at last year's Bowman Draft, and yeah, it went up. It's up to like $800. I think it's on sale for $800 on Blowout for a regular, like a 3 auto box, what they called jumbo last year. But that was because Paul Skeens is in it. That's why, or one of the main reasons why, along with Wyatt Langford, why that product like went up in value. So you're saying that these boxes are $520, and then there would have to be somebody in the checklist that just goes nuts next year, makes it to the bigs, some of the college bats or something. I don't know. I don't really think anybody thinks there's like some big name generational, Steven Strasburg, Paul Skeens, Bryce Harper, a lot of the top guys in baseball, other than Bobby Witt Jr., they're predominantly I can't think all of a sudden, I'm sorry. International, that's what I want to say. That's the word I was looking for. Your Jackson Churios, international kid, right? Not a drafted player. Of course, you had Wyatt Langford. Jackson Holiday was the number 1 pick, but he, we'll have to see what happens with him. So a lot of the guys who end up being like crazy expensive, like Ronald Acuña's and or Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s, like they're not drafted guys. They're international signings, from a very young age. So, yeah. I'm going to try to cap this at 20 minutes and post it on YouTube for anybody who wants to look at my stupid mug and listen to what I have to say about some stuff. We're deep into football. If it's not Lamar Jackson right now, it's tough. CJ Stroud's fallen off a little bit because of, some injuries in the wide receiver core, and the team is good. It's just not, it's not like lighting it up. I would think CJ Stroud, I don't know, would he be in the top 5 in MVP right now? I don't think so, right? You would have, Lamar and Pat, and then Derrick Henry. I don't know. Henry would probably be in there. Burrow, probably not Burrow. I know Josh Allen. They probably get all grouped in because their teams aren't like crazy good. So I don't know. Baker Mayfield, Hurts, all those guys. I don't know. And then basketball, we're in it 8 games in, so we're already about 1/10 of the way into the season. It goes kind of fast. We'll blink, it'll be Christmas. You blink again, it'll be March. Season's long, but before we know it, it'll be over with. I think my son just did something cool. Yeah, I know. Anyways, yeah, let's cap it at 20 minutes. So look out for Topps Chrome update. A lot of, it's a very, very desirable product. Look for that at GameStop on Wednesday for sure. You'll be able to get it on release day and not have to wait until Target or, unless you bought it online. Watch out for that. Watch out for premium stock. I hope I didn't. I just covered up the sound, so the sound might be messed up there for a moment. Look out for premium stock basketball. That's finally here. Megas and blasters, maybe as soon as next week. In store. Online, they are available. They might even still be available right now. And we'll catch you guys next time. All the best. Bye.